If you think Super Battle Golf is going to be a peaceful, relaxing round on the green, think again. This game throws the rulebook out the window and replaces it with chaos. Sure, the goal is still to sink the ball in the hole with as few shots as possible, but your opponents have other plans. Instead of politely waiting their turn, they'll be racing across the course, setting traps, and doing everything they can to throw off your shot. That's where items come in, and they can completely change the outcome of a match. From tools that sabotage your rivals to power-ups that give you a huge advantage, knowing when and how to use these items is the real key to winning. Some are mildly annoying, others are downright devastating, and choosing the right moment to deploy them can turn a guaranteed loss into a clutch victory. In this video, we're breaking down the items that can make or break your game. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking items in Super Battle Golf. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The items in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: landmine, orbital laser, and elephant gun. You know that awkward moment when an item sounds amazing on paper, but the second you actually use it, everyone just walks around it like it's a wet floor sign? Yeah. Welcome to the B tier. Let's start with the landmine. In theory, dropping 3 explosives that stun anyone who steps on them sounds like pure chaos. In practice, it's more like setting up a tiny obstacle course that cautious players casually sidestep. The stun effect is genuinely strong, and if someone walks into it during a hectic scramble, it can completely shift momentum. The problem is that you need near chess level prediction skills to place them effectively, and even when you do everything right, a careful opponent can still tiptoe around your masterpiece like they're avoiding a puddle. Now, when the landmine does work, it feels fantastic. Watching someone freeze mid-run while you casually line up your shot is chef's kiss perfection. But that satisfaction is inconsistent, and in a fast-moving match, relying on enemies to make mistakes is a risky strategy. It is less a guaranteed advantage and more a gamble disguised as a trap. Next up is the orbital laser, which sounds as dramatic as its name suggests. You mark a spot, a massive laser strikes from the sky, and theoretically, everything in that zone gets obliterated. The first issue is rarity. Finding one is already a minor miracle. The second issue is that the laser only hits the marked area, and if your opponent steps out of the zone, intentionally or accidentally, the strike is wasted. Few things feel worse than calling down space-powered destruction only to watch your target casually stroll away at the last second. Still, when it connects in spectacular fashion. The visual impact alone makes you feel like you just summoned divine punishment onto the fairway. But because it depends heavily on timing and prediction, it often feels more cinematic than practical. In a game where movement is constant, stationary devastation is not always the reliable solution you hope it will be. Finally, the elephant gun brings raw stopping power with 2 incredibly strong shots capable of stunning opponents. That sounds perfect until you experience the knockback. Every shot pushes you backward, creating a self-inflicted penalty that can throw off positioning and rhythm. Instead of feeling empowered, you sometimes feel like the weapon is arguing with you about where you should stand. If you absolutely must use a firearm, the single-shot pistol offers a cleaner and more controlled option. The elephant gun can still shine in specific situations, especially when you need a sudden stun to interrupt a play, but the recoil trade-off makes it harder to justify compared to more reliable tools, so B-tier items are not useless. They just demand precision, prediction, and occasionally a bit of luck. When they work, they look brilliant. When they do not, you are left wondering whether you outplayed yourself more than your opponent. And honestly, that unpredictability is part of what makes Super Battle Golf so chaotic and fun in the first place. The items in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: air horn, golf cart, and coffee. If B tier was chaotic, maybe this works. A tier is where things start getting serious, but still a little mischievous. These are the items that consistently make an impact in Super Battle Golf, even if they are not completely unstoppable. Let's talk about the air horn, also known as the friendship destroyer. This thing is pure psychological warfare. The moment your opponent is carefully charging their shot, fully focused, calculating the perfect angle, you blast the horn and suddenly they overhit like they have never played golf before. It is hands down the best trolling tool in the game. The only catch is timing. If your opponent is not actively taking a shot, the air horn just sits in your inventory looking awkward, so it rewards patience and awareness more than raw aggression. Then we have the golf cart, which I will admit I underestimated at first. I almost put it in B tier, and I am glad I did not. The ability to move faster across the course is already strong because getting to your ball first can completely change the pace of a round. On top of that, you can literally run into other players and mess up their positioning. And yes, it can carry up to 8 players, which means your entire squad can roll up together like a chaotic golf gang. The disruption aspect is fun, but let us be honest, running someone over is only effective if they are not paying attention. A focused player can dodge the cart pretty easily. Still, the mobility alone makes this item valuable. Speed is power in a game where seconds matter, and the golf cart delivers that consistently. Now let us caffeinate things with coffee. This item gives you a speed boost that lasts 10 seconds. It might not sound like much, but those 10 seconds can feel huge when used at the right moment. Activating it right before a long run or a critical race to the ball can absolutely increase your chances of securing the point. It feels smooth, responsive, and just satisfying to use. The downside is the short duration. 10 seconds disappear quickly, and if someone stuns you while the boost is active, you basically waste the entire effect. That risk keeps coffee from climbing into S tier territory. Still, when used strategically and at the perfect moment, it can be the difference between barely losing and confidently winning. And in Super Battle Golf, that little burst of speed can feel like everything. The items in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: rocket launcher, spring boots, dueling pistol, and electromagnet. And now we arrive at the items that make you feel like you have unlocked a secret developer menu. The S tier tools in Super Battle Golf do not just help you, they bend the pace of the match in your favor and make opponents question their life choices. First up, the rocket launcher, also known as the please stop moving button. This beauty fires a homing missile that locks onto a target and stuns them on impact. You do not need perfect aim, you do not need advanced prediction skills, and you definitely do not need luck. The auto-targeting does the hard work for you, and the stun lasts long enough to create a peaceful little window where you can line up your shot without someone sprinting past you like a maniac. What makes the rocket launcher truly terrifying is its reliability. Against a single opponent, it is almost unfair. The moment that missile starts chasing them, panic sets in. They zigzag, they jump, they accept their fate, and you casually prepare your shot like nothing is happening. It is simple, effective, and brutally consistent. Next, we have the spring boots, the undisputed champions of mobility. These boots launch you forward, letting you cover huge distances in seconds. While they do not disrupt opponents like the golf cart, they elevate your movement skill ceiling. You are not relying on chaos, you are relying on precision and momentum to reach the ball faster. Once you master the timing, spring boots feel incredible. Clearing obstacles, crossing long fairways, and beating everyone to the ball becomes second nature. Mobility wins matches, and these boots turn you into a high-speed golf missile. Then there is the dueling pistol, a simple single-shot weapon that stuns opponents and does exactly what it promises. No gimmicks, no drama, just clean disruption. It is fairly easy to find, which means you will see it often, but effectiveness still depends on your aim. For best results, get close before firing. At long distances, missing wastes the opportunity and your dignity at the same time. Up close, however, it is a guaranteed interruption that can swing momentum instantly. It is straightforward, satisfying, and surprisingly powerful in skilled hands. Finally, we have the electromagnet, the only true defensive item in the game and a secret win condition tool when used wisely. Most of the match, it might sit in your inventory doing absolutely nothing, but the moment you are one shot away from victory, it becomes priceless. Activating it creates a short duration shield that blocks all projectiles and item attacks. That includes everything. Rockets, stuns, and even the orbital laser cannot touch you while the shield is active. Timing is everything here. Use it too early and you waste it. Use it at the final moment and you glide to victory while your opponents throw everything at you in vain. It may look like a humble defensive tool, but in clutch situations, the electromagnet feels downright unstoppable. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.